Well, that escalated quickly. Greetings and salutations, everyone. I bring to you my review of The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 4, titled Obliged. Again, my apologies for the late delivery of this video. I have been under the weather this past week, so I have not had the energy for creative output. As always, this video will contain spoilers of the episode and possibly everything leading up to it. Again, you have been warned. I will fully admit that this episode was a slight step up from the previous week, and I emphasize slight. I did enjoy the beginning montage involving Michonne and the day-to-day grind mixed with Walker hunting as a way of releasing tension. I somewhat enjoyed the talk between Michonne and Negan, but to be honest, I would have much preferred Carl in the scene. Oh, what could have been. I also enjoyed the talk that Rick had with Eugene about what options there are in reinforcing the bridge, and his conversation with Carol about her decision to take her reinforcements back home to the kingdom. But as soon as the episode started to become interesting, it came to a screeching halt with the conveniently placed hole for Rick and Daryl to fall into. Also, there was some seriously convoluted dialogue to add to my frustration with the character interactions and motivations. It just seems painfully obvious that the writers have no clue which direction they want to take these characters. Take for instance Jesus. First he wanted to help Rick take out the Saviors. Why else would he have accompanied them to the Savior outpost in Season 6? Then he pleads to Rick's group that they should be sparing their lives. Then he agrees to aid Maggie in her assassination of Negan at the end of Season 8. Now he tells Maggie he agrees that Rick's decision to keep Negan alive was wrong, but he questions if Maggie's motivations are right, because reasons apparently. And his reasons for questioning Maggie's motives are not coherently laid out. The writers should have just kept Maggie and Jesus' interaction short and simple. I can only guess Jesus was used as a plot device to make Rick aware of Maggie's unexpected arrival at Alexandria. They could have easily had Tammy eavesdrop on Maggie's conversation with Jesus, and she could have passed the information she heard on to Rick. It would have made much more sense to use her in this situation, given the massive personal beef she has with Maggie, so I would not put it past her to try to make Maggie's life as difficult and miserable as possible. But I digress. The next piece of utterly convoluted dialogue comes from Daryl when he and Rick were arguing. His rebuttal to Rick's comment about him sparing Dwight made absolutely no sense and certainly did not give him an added point in their quarrel. He could have easily responded to Rick by saying that the situation was different with Dwight because he helped them out in the war against Negan. One thing I do give credit to the writers for is that they at least acknowledge that Carl died for nothing. But I'm sorry, that take my hand brother moment was so damn cheesy I almost broke out into laughter. I get that they were trying to go for a powerful moment between two best friends who have been through a lot together, but it just didn't work for me. We already know that Rick and Daryl are like brothers to each other. There was no need to reiterate it, especially not in such an overwrought manner. Then, of course, we get Jadis and a bound-up Gabriel as she unveils a dollar store Winslow and lowers it down to him. We've already seen her do this type of shit so many times before. For the love of God, stop it already. It's getting old. Also, did anyone genuinely fear for Gabriel's life in this scene? I would have actually given the writers credit if Jadis actually killed him at this moment. At least then we wouldn't have to deal with her constant flip-flopping between wanting to be the bad guy and wanting to help the group. No offense to Pollyanna McIntosh, I think she does a great job with the material she is given, but what is the point of this completely irrelevant character? I mean seriously, if you were to take Jadis and the trash people out of the equation, it would have absolutely zero effect on the story. Then we have Rick leading the herd away, setting up his inevitable demise. Gotta love how his horse magically appears at the precise moment when him and Daryl crawl out of the conveniently placed hole. Despite some convenient circumstances for the plot, I did enjoy the scene. It was nicely shot and certainly tickled the fan service bone by paralleling Rick's encounter with the herd to his Walker ordeal in downtown Atlanta in Season 1 prior to taking refuge in the tank. In conclusion, the first half of Obliged was decent, but the second half completely fell flat on its face. There is one more episode before Rick's inevitable departure from the show. I guess we will see what's in store for Officer Friendly. If you would like to share your thoughts on this episode, please feel free to comment down below, and thanks for watching. Until next time, this is Lindsay, signing off.